Hi everyone, it's Bev DeBono, and I am back with Noteworthy Collection Simple Page Kit number 2. But before we get started on making our actual Page Kit 2, let me just explain a little bit about what this whole Page Kit thing is about and why it started. Creative Memories came out with the Noteworthy Collection back in January, and then we supplemented it with page kits every single month. And this is the premium collection of the page kits. Um, Page kit 1, page kit 2, page kit 3. So every month you can make a double page spread. And by the end of the year, you have a completed album. So, and this is my album that I'm going to start for 2025 because I want to get it ready. I haven't done my title page yet. It's going to depend on what big picture I'm putting in the middle here. This is our Noteworthy Collection beginner class. Okay, and I'm using that to start off my album. And this is page kit number 1, which we did last month. And when I do these page kit classes, I show you how we make the actual page kit. And then I like to take the directions that come with the page kit. So they come with all of the directions, and it also tells you what sizes some of the pieces are. So this was page kit 1. And then we'll create page kit 1, and then I'll do it in a different collection. Okay, so this was the same one done in a different collection. Exact same measurements and everything. This was done with the Happy Together collection. Okay, so that is what we're going to be doing tonight is creating page kit number 2, and then I will show you the variation with the measurements on how to do page kit number 2. Okay, so this is page kit number 2, which would be February. And I really like the fact that they did February with blue hearts as opposed to red hearts. You're seeing a glare because these are in my top loading sleeves. So you can create your pages and then slide them into your top loading sleeves. And you can rearrange your pages whenever you want. This is page kit number 3, which we will be creating next month, along with a variation. So you see, if you create these page kits every month, by the end of the year, you will have 24 pages and a complete album. Okay, so let's get started with page kit number 2. And I just want to show you that page kit number 2 has quite a lot of different patterns and different papers. I recreated that using Sun Soaked, exactly the same layout. Okay, oops, it goes this way. Exactly the same layout, just using different colors. Okay, so what we're going to do is first we're going to create page kit number 2, just as it says in the instructions. Then I'm going to take the directions from page kit 2, and we're going to use that to make a variation. Okay, so I'm going to walk you step by step on using the different sizes for the variations. Okay, so let's get started. Let's take page kit 2. Oh, this is variation 1 using Sun Soaked. Okay. Let's get page kit 2. Move this aside. I'm getting a brand new one. And we're just going to take it out of the bag. It comes with your instruction sheet or one that you can follow along. It comes with a strip of stickers, and I include, if you get the premium kit, it comes with a really nice embossed exclusive that goes along with it. All right, the kits are comprised of 3 pieces of paper. 2 background papers, which already have all of your backgrounds placed. So when we recreate this on our own, we have to create all of these little pieces. Okay, and then it comes with a 3rd piece like this, and the other side of it has your lines, so you know exactly where to cut these lines on your trimmer. We're going to cut right on the lines. Okay, so let's get started. All we need is our trimmer. And we're going to start. So our first cut, oh, and let me just tell you one other thing. The base pages, this is the base page that they recommend, but if you don't want to use the heart and you want to use something else, you can just flip your papers over to a very tonal, very soft dot pattern. I'm getting a little bit of a glare, so let me just kind of try to move this light. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm going to do my first cut between numbers 1 and 2. I'm going to line up my line there right in the cut line on my trimmer. Now, for those of you who are not used to working with the Creative Memories trimmer or who haven't seen it yet, this makes very, very precise cuts. And the cut line, if you're not sure what the cut line is, when you hold your trimmer up and you see the logo, Creative Memories, the number on the gray mat, this one says number 4. I don't know if you could see that. That is the line, and there's a dotted line. That is the cut line that I'm cutting on, and I'm lining my paper up with that line. Okay, so I'm lining it up with my cut line. And if I want to be extra sure that that's the line that I'm cutting on, there are some little plastic guides, and I'm using my multi-purpose tool because they're tucked in underneath these blue bumps here. You have one on the top and one on the bottom. And I just use my multi-purpose tool, the tip of it, and I am just pulling it out. And this is a little plastic guide that has a thin, thin black line on it. Don't know if you could see that on there. A very thin black line on it. And that black line should match up to the line that you're cutting on. And if not, then just wiggle your paper so that it matches up to that line. Okay, so I'm kind of wiggling my paper there. All right, and I'm going to cut straight down on that line. Okay, now I'm just going to put one over the other. And then I'm going to cut over here where it says cut line 7. I am lining that up on my cut line. That's actually 1 1/4 inches. 1 1/4 inches. Up, if you go, just remember to cut it a couple times if in fact you are cutting more than one paper. Okay, and then we're going to make sure they're stacked closely again, and then cutting that on the cut line that says number 5. Cut line that says number 5. I'm going to quick check with my guide to make sure that I have it right on the cut line. And I'm cutting through. And that one was 1 inch. 1 inch by 6 inches. And then I'm moving it up again to cut line that says number 3. I'm lining it up matching it up, taking my plastic guide, double checking that it's lined up. Oh, I got to wiggle this one over just a little bit. Give it a little wiggle room and cut that off. Okay, so the pieces are all numbered in the backs. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like animals. And now all we have to do is to assemble. Okay, so our pages, our base pages, are going to have this hero paper in the middle. Now, a hero paper is something that's a very predominant pattern in a paper pack. So predominant pattern in this pack may have been that bright blue. Everything else is going to be tonal, but that's the brightest pattern in that pack. In sun-soaked, one of the brightest patterns in that pack happened to be the parrots, the birds. Okay, so whatever, when you recreate this one, you want to use a hero paper or a very predominant paper just in that top section. Okay, and that's going to anchor your page. All right, so I'm putting this across my two 13 by 13 mats. Okay, I'm taking number 1 and number 2, and I am putting that at about, oh, let's say I'm going to put that, I don't remember where I put that now. Oh, probably at 2 inches down from the top. 2 inches down from the top. So they're all meeting in the middle. Okay? 2 inches down from the top, it's meeting in the middle. And I'm using this new really big tape runner from Creative Memories. For a bigger piece like that. Okay, line up your bases to the middle. Place these pieces at the 2-inch mark down from the top. These pieces happen to be 6 inches by 8 3/4. 6 inches by 8 3/4. Okay, 2 inches down from the top. There we go. Okay, and now we have, when we flip over our little pieces that we cut, we have 4 1-inch by 6-inch pieces, and those are going to just anchor the bottom of your 6 by 8 piece there. This one is going above. The one on the top is going above your bigger piece, and the 1-inch strips on the bottom are going on top of the big piece. Because if we put it down here, you're really cutting off everything. Okay, you're ready to tape those down. Those are 1-inch by 6 inches, and you do need 4 of those. So the rest of the papers are very tonal. Putting these 2 down. And then your last piece is going to be the little blue piece, which measures 1.25 by 6 inches. 1.25 by 6 inches. Okay, and then these are going to go towards the bottom, but they're not going to line up straight up. They're going to just kind of overlap. And I actually had it starting at the bottom of this base here. Okay, so I have the bottom piece, at the bottom of that base. So there's kind of a, they're not matching all the way through. Okay, so there's a little line there, and we're going to cover up that line because it just makes it flow a little bit better. Okay, so that is your base for your 2 pages here. And you can then just go ahead and add your stickers. They've got a nice title here. Good Times Together. I can do something with a couple of the hearts. I'm going to pop this guy up on a little foam. So you see how fast these are. These little kits. Okay. On the other side, I might put this fun piece of all those hearts. This word love. And you can follow along. They do have suggestions as to where to place all of those. So you can follow along on the suggestions here, right on your sketch sheet. Okay. I gotta find my kit too. There we go. All righty. And then I kind of just overlapped some balloons here. And then I did a fun trick with the foam where I'm only going to put a little bit of foam on one of the top of the balloon and not the bottom. So it's just going to raise it up just a little bit. One side like that. Okay, and then I'm going to add something down to the bottom, which is going to integrate that little piece there that's sticking out, which is not my favorite. And I'm just going to add one of those fun little flower pots with the heart sticking out of it. Oh, I almost forgot. We had these really cute little heart navy stickers, and they are going to go right above that beige piece on the left at the top and on the right at the top. So you see that little strip, does a lot to just add a fun little piece there. And we're taking that other sticker strip, and that's going to go right in the middle of the blue piece. So because we're following this one exactly, we're adding those little strips. But on the variations that I did, I'm not sure that I added, well, I know I didn't add all the strips to this variation because there was a lot of pattern going on there. And I didn't think it needed all of that. Okay, and then on the bottom here, I'm adding another one of those little flower pots with the heart. And maybe I'm going to use this word besties, and I'm going to pop that up with a little foam tape. A little bit of foam tape, you just add it to the back of the sticker, cut it where you want it to be cut off, peel off the backing, and it goes right where, I think it's on this guy, right where you want it to be. Besties. There we go. And I have another heart. Just adding a couple more hearts here and there. Okay, and then on the other side, another one of these fun little hearts. So it was kind of a love, good times together, lots of fun, but it wasn't in red. And that does make it a little different and a lot of fun, because love doesn't always have to be in reds and pinks. Um, in fact, the latest Creative Memories wedding collection had a lot of blues. It was called Something Blue, but it was very tonal, beautiful colors. These pages would blend with that as well. Okay, and there we go. I'm going to add a couple of dots, and then this is done. So you see, in about 5 minutes, we've created a double page spread with these simple page kits. And again, I'm just going to add a couple of dots because I just like to frame it up a little bit. It's just a couple dots, 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 and just a couple more. Okay, so this is your Page Kit 2, just as they want it done. Okay, now let's do a variation on this. Now bear with me because there's a lot of cuts to be made for this because of the way that I tried to save paper. When you look at this variation, in order to do this, you need a base. You need 2 sheets as a base. So I'm going to use white as my base. And now I'm actually going to use red hearts. So I'm going to be using the Happy Together, the New Valentine Creative Memories kit called Happy Together. And this bundle was like a $15 bundle. It had 6 sheets of paper in the reds and the blacks, the pinks. Okay, so what is the hero paper in this collection? It's this beautiful red and pink heart, because that's the most predominant pattern. So I'm going to take this and use that as my upper sections. Okay, and this collection also had some really nice die cuts, which is what we needed, were all around the pages. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We need a double page. We need the double page spread. And then the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to need this big base strip that's going to go in the middle. And that is 6 inches by 12 inches. 6 inches by 12 inches. Okay, so when I'm preparing to do these, I like to kind of just lay out my papers and see how they're going to look. Okay, so it's 6 inches by 12 inches. We need 2 of them, and they are going to form that base that's going to go under the whole page. Okay, so before I tape it down, I'm just kind of placing it. I might want to move it up. So let me just double check on this guy here. No, it was actually right there at the 3-inch mark. Okay, and then I'm going to really just look at, because I had this now, really this hero paper, which is that pretty heart, and I want to have it at the top and at the bottom. So you want to have your predominant paper up at the top and also down at the bottom. Okay, and I'm just going to move this down a little bit. Because there's a method to my madness. There we go. Okay, so your 2 main pieces here are 12 by 6. Okay, and what I did was I cut these 2 strips because I didn't want to have two big pieces underneath it like this. I didn't want to put these two big pieces underneath it like this and waste all of this beautiful paper. Okay, because we're covering up so much of it and only the little strips are showing at the top and the bottom. So what I did was I cut off a strip for the top and a strip for the bottom. Okay, and this is going to measure 12 by 3. So it's 12 inches by 3 inches wide, 12 by 3. And the bottom one is going to measure 12 by 2. 12 by 2. Okay. And I made it just a little bit shorter because I didn't want to, again, waste more paper. So I made them just a little bit shorter than this piece here, because then we would have had to cut into another piece of paper. And I didn't want to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and place these down. We have our 12 by 6 inch strips. All right, and we're going to put this at 3.5 down from the top. 3.5 down from the top. That's where we're going to place the 12 by 6 strips. 3.5 down from the top. So I'm telling you my thought process as we go along as to how why I'm using either a smaller piece of paper or, why I didn't want to waste it. And so I'm hoping that that helps you understand my thought process. Okay, so it's 3.5 inches down from the top. Okay, now our next two pieces that we already cut is your hero paper. Okay, your hero paper. And this one is 3 inches by 12, and this one is 2 inches by 12. All right, and now we're going to stack them on top of each other the long way. Okay, so you've got the 2-inch piece on top of the 3-inch piece, and we're going to cut that at 8 inches. 8 inches. Okay, and we're going to put the 8 by 3 on the left side and the 4 by 3 on the right side. Okay, and then again down here, got the 8 by 2 on the left and the 4 by 2 on the right. Okay, so you see it's already starting to come together. And then your little pieces are going to go right on top of that mid piece there. So your mid piece is your anchor piece. I'm just moving my cheat sheets here. Okay, and now we've got our base. Okay, so we have our base. Let me move these out. Okay, so you see that we've started to recreate what was on page kit number 2. Okay, now what we're going to need is another tonal piece that's going to go down this middle and kind of anchor your page. All right, and I selected this very tonal little pattern here. Again, it's going to go with goes with the kit. And these measure 6 inches, 6 inches across, 6 inches wide by 8 3/4 long. 6 by 8 3/4. Need 2 of them. Okay, and we're going to place that. We are going to place that right where those are, which are at 2 inches, 2 inches down from the top. Two inches down from the top. So it's your tonal piece. So it's 6 by 8 3/4, and it's 2 inches down from the top. Okay, so you see again, we are recreating what we have here. Okay, now remember all those little pieces that we had. All those little pieces. So we need 1.25 by 4. Wait, 1.25 by 6. We had that one piece that was 1.25 long. So I'm going to take that piece, 1.25, and we're going to cut that in half at 6 inches. But you need 1.25, and that's going to become this piece. That's going to go above here. Okay, and then you need 2 pieces that are 1 inch long, 1 inch by 12. And we're going to cut these in at the 6 inch mark, and that's going to go above there, you see? So that's going to get cut off. So again, we're recreating the same pattern. All right, so let's try that. We have another pattern that's going to go there, and these are both 1 inch by 12 inch, 1 inch by 12 inch. We need 2 of them, and we're going to cut them in half at the 6 inch mark. Cut them in half at the 6 inch mark. So I'm going to stack them up. Okay, and remember, one went at the top of one, and one went at the bottom. Yes, I didn't cut that right. Oh, well. Let me just cut another piece. It's supposed to be 1 inch by 6 inches, and I cut it at 5. Okay, no worries. Okay, this other piece, that's 1 1/4 by 12. We're going to cut that to 1 1/4 by 6. And I'm using a stripe because there was a stripe sort of in the page. Okay, and I'm just going to put that at 3 inches. 3 inches from the bottom. 3 inches from the bottom. So the top part of it is going to be at your 3-inch mark from the bottom. Using that stripe. Okay, so now I'm going to have to recut that, I'm going to have to recut my other little pieces. No worries, this is why we have paper. I just have to find where I put that grouping. And I need an inch by 12, and then I'm going to cut that in half to an inch by 6, and then again an inch by 6. Here we go. So let's see what I have. Let's see what I have in my papers. Okay, I need an inch by 6 and another inch by 6. No worries. So I'm going to cut 2 1-inch strips by 12. There we go. All right, now I'm going to do it right this time. I'm going to open my arm, put one on top of the other, and cut them at the 6-inch mark. Cut them at the 6-inch mark. I cut them at the 5-inch mark before, so I was way off. And it didn't really match up. Okay. There we go, no worries. Yes, that's what I did. I had cut them too short, so that will go for a fun page. Okay, so the 6-inch strips are going to go right above your other 6-inch strip there. And then these are going to go down at the bottom. Oh, this has a little pattern to it, a direction. So I want to make sure I have my flowers going in the right direction. Isn't this fun? This is a cute little collection, this Happy Together. It's a small little collection because it's only got 6 pieces of paper in it. But look at how diverse these papers are. You've got the little black and white stripe, which is a lot, but if you just use a little strip here and there, and then I'll show you, we're going to actually tone it down a little bit with a 3/4 inch strip. There we go. And then these 2 pieces. So sometimes it's harder to recreate. It would be easy if I had just put that, like I said, that big hero paper all the way down the middle, but then we would have wasted so much of it because look how much of it was covered up. So it's okay on the Simple Page Kit because it's pre-printed onto the page itself, but I didn't want to do that when I was recreating it. Okay, now remember how on Page Kit itself, we had those little 1/2-inch strips. So I didn't want to add that everywhere, but we could add a 3/4 inch strip or a 1/2-inch strip. And I think I'm just going to add one right here, or I'm going to add the small one up here at the top. Okay, so just a little pieces in the black. So it's a 1/2-inch strip. and it's actually taking the place of that sticker strip that we had in kit 1. So we're using paper instead of a sticker. And we're going to cut, this is a 1/2 inch strip, and we're going to cut that at the 6-inch mark. Okay, so you see again, a little stripe goes a long way, especially when it's a dark stripe like this black and white. But it actually does come out. It works out really well. And I'm just putting that right above my piece that's 6 inches, that base page. Okay, so now you've got everything is framed up, and now we finally have all of our bases done. Okay, now let me see if I can find what I thought I was going to do for my decorations. Yep, here we go. So I took out, because on the kits, you know, there were stickers. In this kit that I use, there were only die cuts, so I had to kind of recreate some of these little pieces using the die cuts. So again, I just would put, you want a cluster at the top right, a cluster at the top left, top right and top left. I got my hands backwards. And then down at the bottom, I just put a little cluster like in some of these little points, just so that the points weren't so predominant. I just wanted to soften those up a little bit. Okay, so I have Hey Lovely here. And Be Mine, Always and Forever. And I'll add some other parts to that. This was really, again, like I said, a really, really pretty pack. The hearts. Another set of hearts. And then I had a title. Butterfly is really pretty. And again, it has the black and the pink in it that we carried throughout here. Okay, and then I've got down here at that little point, so it softens the point a little bit. Word kisses. And again, some little hearts. And some little hearts. Okay, so what's missing? Dots, you would say. So I'm going to put some dots. I'm actually going to use black only because I want to bring in the black from the pattern. So I'm repeating that piece. Just a couple dots here and there. Okay. Just a couple of dots here and there. Okay, and that is page kit number 2. That's the variation using the collection called Happy Together. This is the variation using Sun Soaked. And this is the actual page kit number 2. Okay, so comment, tell me which one you like better. Did you like the original, page kit 2? Did you like the tropical sun soaked? Or did you like the Happy Together? Isn't this fun? Exact same layout, done in 3 different patterns, and they look totally different. Okay, so you can use these page patterns, these page kits over and over. Just put your measurements down, change up your papers for variations, and you can have a lot of fun with it and start your own sketchbook. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my technique for tonight. I'm Bev DeBono Designs on YouTube. You can subscribe to me. I usually post a technique video every week. If you're not currently working with a Creative Memories advisor, I'd be honored if you would order from my website. If you're looking to join a fun team of advisors, we share a lot of ideas on my team. And all the information, again, is in the comment section of this video. Okay, so I hope to see you again soon at another class. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye for now.